Greetings and salutations to what may be the first episode of Ethan Touching Grass. Today I am joining you at the tallest point in Missouri, Taum Sauk Mountain, at an elevation of about 1,700 feet. 1,772 according to this little placard here. Very unique environment up in the heart of the St. Francis Mountains. I'm out here looking for a very special plant to me. One that is endemic to the Ozarks and only blooms in winter, Hamamelis vernalis. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it here blooming yet because it is a lot snowier than I anticipated. But, you know, might as well take the shot. It is very snowy, icy here. January 15th, 2025. Just had a big snowstorm about 8-9 days ago. I didn't think it got this far south, but clearly it did. Here's a nice little ephemeral pond over here. It's frozen solid right now, but in a few months this is gonna be just absolutely screaming with spring peepers. I remember coming here a couple years ago when it was like March or April and it was just so loud here. Very different from what it's like right now. Super, super quiet. Deafening silence. Now check this sucker out. This is what I believe to be goldenrod bunchgall midge. And there's some little fly larvae that are overwintering in this little stem here. Extremely inflated. I'm not going to break it open or nothing because I want them to come out in the spring, but you see these a lot on goldenrod plants. I can tell this is a goldenrod because it's a little spent flower right there. But yeah, interesting little quirk of relational biology type thing. So here's something about the glade community that's pretty interesting. So in the summer, it'll act as like a sort of desert. This clearing in the woods, that's kind of like a rocky outcrop. A lot of desert species grow there, right? But what you may not know is in the winter, it just sloughs off all this moisture. It'll be really wet on a glade, especially after it rains or snows. So I gotta try really hard not to sleep on my ass because there's a lot of ice here too. But yeah, it does not hold on to that water. But it'll be super wet if you come at the wrong time of year. And clearly I did. But you know what? It's still pretty out here. I'm gonna get muddy boots too, but you know. You make some sacrifices, you know, to get out of the house. Glades in winter are nice. You can still see a lot of cool plants here, just they're all dead and dormant. But supposedly somewhere out here there's an endangered milkweed, Mead's milkweed, Asclepias meadii. It's the easternmost population of it, but we ain't gonna find that right now, unless you maybe find a nice seed head. But there's a lot of lichen growing on these rocks. This is how you can tell that this area has really clean air. But yeah, there's a lot of ice here. And trying not to fall and slip on my ass. I thought these would be melted by now, but clearly they're not. Now that's a nice view right here. So while I'm here, I might as well talk about how these mountains formed in the first place. So 1.5 billion years ago, that's how old these rocks are. Some of the oldest rocks in the eastern US, save for like, I don't know, shit up in the Canadian Shield and Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But this is some of the oldest rock in the eastern US. And it's formed in a very similar way to how Hawaii is being formed currently. This huge shield volcano in the middle of the ocean. This all used to be underwater at one point, but it formed this giant chain of islands roughly 1 billion years ago. And it's all kind of a big dome too. So like this is kind of the center of a geologic dome. In every direction, the rock just keeps getting younger and younger. Cambrian, Ordovician, and then Carboniferous. But yeah, this is kind of the center of it all. Also Missouri's highest point. Ooh, got over here too, a little Omasalata winged elm. This is a really interesting species I see a lot out in these Ozark glades. I believe they're Ozark endemics, but I am not quite sure. I'll edit in post and figure that out later, but very glade characteristic species. But yeah, it's a nice example of an igneous glade right here with a nice view. And if you can see over there, there's a huge power plant. That's a big reservoir on top of the mountain. It's kind of a bean-shaped reservoir. I'll have to do a future video about that. Real Engineering has a really good video about how that was built and how that there was a whole disaster that flooded Johnson shut-ins down there. I'll have to do a video about secondary succession over there, but yeah, real nice area. Yeah, this is a nice place to slip and fall on your ass. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't come right after a snowstorm or an ice storm or what the shit, because yeah, this is a little treacherous. I mean, it's not like I'm right on the edge of a cliff, but you know, you can still hit your head on the rocks and seriously hurt yourself. I hope that's not foreshadowing, but yeah, good place to slip and fall on your ass, specifically here. This spot in particular, because I see a lot of these glades are sloughing off the water onto this trail. And it wouldn't be the first time I've slipped and fallen on my ass, but this is the first time I've came out here in ice. So, check this sparkly shit out. That's just rhyolite as far as I can tell, but it's got some shiny inclusions, possibly mica? Feldspar? Something like that, but yeah. Shiniest one I've seen. All right, we got a species of Hypericum, what I assume to be Strangulum, but yeah, it's got these kind of two-sided carpal fruit, if that's even the right word for it. Bit of a dehiscent capsule on this one. Really nice fall color to it, kind of this purpley greenish color on it. Not in cultivation enough, and I think that needs to change, but I got some seed of it. I'm gonna grow it this spring. But yeah, nice little example of that. Hypericum, I believe Strangulum. Here at the top of the waterfall, and you get a lot of this kind of pine here. This is our only native pine. This is Pinus seconata, a shortleaf pine. Needles and fascicles of 2, so that makes it a red pine in the red pine group, but not true red pine, not resinosa. It'll have this kind of platy bark to it. You see there's some cones up there starting to mature, but one of 4 conifer species in Missouri. And I'm sure it wouldn't, yeah, there's another one. There's Juniperus virginiana way over there. There's some more over there. Yeah, two of the 4 conifers are here. There's another one over there. Junipers will have more scale-like leaves, and they're kind of a bit more orange. They can almost be a purple right now in the winter time, but these can be a real problem on glades because they can take over and shade out the whole shit. But they're a very numerous tree, really in the eastern half of the U.S., in the Ozarks especially. But yeah, Pinus seconata and Juniperus virginiana, 2 of the most common conifers in the Ozarks. The only 2 real native conifers to the Ozarks, unless you want to count that one other juniper. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's only native to like Branson and nowhere else. I'll think of it. I'll probably put it in post, but yeah. Beautiful views though. Here's another really cool species that's only really found in the Ozarks. Ooh, here's some seed of it too. This is Alnus seriolata. This is our only native alder in Missouri. It's not a tree, it's a shrub. Only really occurs on these little Ozark streams. You know, in other places, these will grow the size of trees. I've seen these in Arizona. I was just there recently, and these are full-on trees in their bottomlands, but we only get the shrubs. I don't know why, but still a really neat species. You can use these cones as dye, and they're just like sloughing off seeds right now. Good Lord. I'm gonna have to collect some, grow some of this stuff, because it's a beautiful plant. As you can see, these are the male flowers right here, these catkins. These are the female flowers, aka the cones. Not real cones, just little receptacle flowers. This is in the Betulaceae, the birch family. And Phagales, which is beeches, oaks, birches, all that sort of stuff. Big old tree order. Wind pollinated. Kind of starts blooming a little soon, like early March or so. But yeah. Alnus seriolata. Now these guys are just absolutely freaking tiny over here. Little Rus copalinum, I believe. They don't got the glabrous stems, which makes me think they are indeed copalinum. This is in the same family as poison ivy. Anacardiaceae, but you can touch this guy because it doesn't contain that urushiol that makes your ass itch. And a lot of these seeds, they're kind of glabrous. They smell really sweet. And when they're actually blooming, or just going into fruit really, they make an excellent lemonade. Put this in water overnight. Tastes freaking delicious. Put some sugar on that shit. Basically just lemonade. And you can use them as a spice too. But yeah, Rus copalinum. Absolutely tiny bastard on the here at the base of Missouri's tallest waterfall. This is Sauk Falls. Bit of an ephemeral waterfall. You gotta kind of time it right whenever there's a lot of moisture. It's looking real nice right now with all the ice kind of draped up. Anyway, this is what I came here for. Ozark Witchhazel, Hamamelis vernalis. As you can see, it is flowering. It is in flower, full bloom right now. This one's got kind of smaller flowers, but sometimes they get a little bigger. But yeah, you usually find them along streams in the Ozarks. Kind of a floodplain specialist. Really nice flowers. 3 petals. I believe that's 4 stamens. 4 petals, 4 stamens. And they bloom January, February. There's another species out here, Hamamelis virginiana, which has yellow flowers, blooms in November, December, but I don't think we're gonna see a lot of those. We might see some calyxes, but these things are freaking massive down here too. This one's about, I'd say like, I don't know, upper in the range of 15 feet. Biggest ones I've seen are out here at this beautiful waterfall. Tallest waterfall in Missouri, Sauk Falls. Beautiful spot. I don't even think about the bottom yet because it keeps going. And about 11 miles that way you get Johnson Shut-ins, which is, I guess, the widest waterfall in Missouri. Biggest shut-ins. This is technically kind of a shut-ins too because you can see a lot of these igneous rhyolitic rocks are kind of blocking the way of the stream. And yeah, real peaceful spot. Highly recommend coming around here. Maybe not right now. When it warms up though in February, perfect time to go. This will be in more full bloom, but you know, you still get to enjoy them now. I'm gonna get the macro on this shit. Okay, pulled out the macro lens on this, but as you can see, 4 petals, looks to be 4 stamens, and I guess there's an ovary somewhere in the middle of that. These will finish flowering in about March. They'll turn into a dehiscent capsule that just kind of drops the seed, and they only really inhabit these little streams where the water can carry them. But yeah, Ozark Witchhazel. Sometimes they'll smell really good. I think I came at the wrong time for that, but my nose may just be really stuffy right now. Get some better shots over here. These ones are a little more pink. They kind of range from like a bit of a red to a yellow, orange-ish. Only found in Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and one population in Texas. However, that could be a different species. Still kind of up for debate there. But yeah, Ozark Witchhazel, or vernal witchhazel is the common name on this. These are used medicinally too. Helps treat hemorrhoids, herpes, any sort of inflammation. You can get these at, you can get a freaking Walmart. It's just witch hazel. But yeah, and I believe it comes from the stems. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Ozark specialty. Widely in cultivation too, because they're one of the few things that'll actually bloom in winter. One of the few things in the US that will bloom in winter, as far as the Midwest goes. Pretty cold hardy too. I've seen at least observations of them in like Boston. So interesting. Obviously cultivated there. So this is what the fruit looks like of it. It's a bit of a dehiscing capsule. Splits kind of in half with 2 little capsules in there. Little seeds fall out of there whenever it dehisces. It's kind of explosive, but not necessarily. Nothing like impatiens, but yeah, it'll just dehiss and release a shit ton of seeds. So you kind of gotta collect seeds at the right time. I believe they mature in like September, October, which is fucking crazy because these are January, February bloomers most of the time. Yeah. Saxifrage order, Witchhazel family, Hamamelis. So yeah, actually distantly related to sweet gum, if you can believe it. I can kind of see it in this fruit. It's just like you put a bunch of these, you shrink them down, you put them into a ball. Yeah, that's kind of what a gum ball is. But yeah, that's a fruit. Now, if this ain't what Hamamelis vernalis is all about, then I don't know what is. Found this just growing right in the snow. I just pulled this right out, but it was right in the snow like that. But still blooming. Still blooming. I mean, it's still kind of in the snow. I bet I could pull. Yep, there's more. There's more. Right in the snow. Winter flowers. Flowers in the snow, and it's not a hellebore. It's a native plant. It is a native shrub. These are almost like tree-sized over here, though, but I'd still consider it a shrub. But yeah, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Now, since these are winter bloomers, you may be asking yourself 2 questions. 1, how the hell do they keep their flowers on in sub-zero temperatures? Well, as you can see, you can kind of tell that these petals, they have the ability to coil back up into that little calyx if it gets too cold, but then once it gets above freezing, I'll just unfurl those again. Mine at home was kind of tucked in because it's been pretty freaking cold down there, but here it's about 35 degrees, so it's not too bad out. And you also may be asking, what the hell pollinates it if there's no pollinators out right now? Which I would say you're a dumbass. There is pollinators out here. They're little flies, little gnats, midges, flies. Shit small enough to actually fit in the flowers. But yeah, you see little flies every once in a while when it gets pretty warm out, like above, I don't know, I'd say 40, 50 degrees, which it very commonly does get in southern Ozarks and here, and even St. Louis, you know? But yeah, this is Ozark Witchhazel. Beautiful, beautiful plant. That's all I got for you guys, I think. Make sure, I don't know, subscribe, do all the things that YouTubers say, and peace. Oh, come on, why you kids are so depressed? Come on, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Come on. This is a dumb bit.